Hey, welcome back to another episode of the Photographer Mindset Podcast. I'm your co-host, Seth Macy.
I'm your co-host, Aaron Manis.
Well, Mike, welcome back for the fourth time.
I don't know. Is it 3 or 4?
I believe it's 4. I believe
four.
It's 4.
Okay.
Right. Mike came on with these amber hippie-looking sunglasses, and then Aaron said, let's all go get sunglasses and feel like we're at the World Poker Tour. Aaron looks like a lizard. I look like my stepdad gave me a jet ski for the weekend, and I'm going to go terrorize cottagers. So if you're watching on YouTube, just bear with it. And if you're not, go see Brad, Chad, and Mike's not really a Chad here. Mike's in his element. Mike, what is your element nowadays? You look the part, man. You look the part.
I don't know what I am. I guess I'm in the hippie sort of thing, but I don't really want to identify as a hippie. Well,
you look like the art director, videographer, photographer for a fusion jam band.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, that works pretty close on that
Pretty
track.
close.
Yeah.
That's what I'd say if I saw you on the street and I didn't know you. Aaron, why did we have Mike back today? You had some thoughts for an episode today. I think since we know Mike so well, we'll be able to just kind of riff and maybe be less formal, which is often a kind of more interesting format, but it's always good to have some sort of structure.
Yeah, I need my happy glasses to deal with his cantankerous moods.
I'm good today. Come on.
Good.
I'm feeling good.
No, I just think it's always a good conversation. Mike, Seth, we used to wake up to 17 reels from Mike every morning, and then it just stopped cold turkey.
Yeah, what happened? I didn't even notice that ended.
Yeah, it just ended one day, like he fell off the face of the earth. And it took a little while to realize, he's just not on here right now. He didn't answer maybe one of my DMs or a question or maybe one of my reels that I thought was hilarious.
Maybe it wasn't funny or your question was stupid.
No, he just didn't even look at it. And also Mike would tell me that's stupid. So
you knew something was wrong.
Yeah.
It got to the where Mike didn't even grace you with the scene by Nuch 10. It's just
no, Irish goodbye. But
yes.
We didn't bother him. Just next time we talked on the phone, I was like, "Hey man, are you are you off Instagram?" And he's like, "Yeah, all set." I noticed some things. So I thought that was a good, interesting talk off point. We chatted on that for a while. And then the other thing we chatted about was just like where photography's taken us, and it's crazy. Mm-hmm. And we're both laughing at where we are in 2025 in August compared to some of the things we were doing in 2019. Some of the brand deals we were doing and little things we were trying to do to get into it. It's just been a crazy ride. So that's a nice little table setter right there.
Mike, what would you tell 2019 you, who's very new to photography, where you're at now? Like, what conversation what would that look like? Would you believe you were talking to your future self? I mean, you're for people who don't know, Mike is what's your role with Goose the band officially? Do you have one? Or are you just the guy?
No, my official role with them is archivist at this point. And then I do a lot of other things. So I started as a photographer, and then that kind of morphed into videographer. And at the same time, like, what do you guys do with all of your data? And I was like, I can take that and duplicate it and make it pretty. And then also because of like the photography that I've done, I got, really into Drobos and backing things up in a RAID system. So I was like, why don't you give me all of your photography as well, and I'll create a really nice catalog and have it all geotagged and keyworded and make it so that you can access this stuff quickly, because they had just folders on drives and no particular rhyme or reason. And so I pulled off they handed me like 15 8 terabyte drives that were all full.
Wow.
And in no particular, just sort of order. It kind of like progressed through the years, but like nothing was really labeled in any order. So I took and half those drives, like the inputs were broken. So like sometimes they'd boot, sometimes they wouldn't. And I was just like, oh my God, if you lost this drive right now, like this is all there is. And it's like a sketchy input. I was like, holy shit. So I took everything, got it all off there, then backed it up, then started kind of like organizing, cleaning up, putting it in some sort of like nomenclature for the folders, putting it into chronological order as best I could based on what I saw on the drive. And then did like, just a huge sweep of all image stills, got those off onto their own drive, created a catalog, did what I just said. And then, just then from that point on, I created like a standard format and template for other people to follow when they give me the data. So we work with, 10 different photographers from time to time. It could be that many. And so we have I set up a Dropbox folder, and everyone knows how to access that. And when you export your files, have your last name in there, the date, the show, and there's all this like stuff that I kind of created to make it easier for me to ingest that into the master catalog. And then, we just keep growing. But it's we're at 85,000 images now, which is pretty cool. Wow. And we're at between 400 and 500 terabytes of data, almost, probably 800 terabytes backed up.
Yeah. So you're the digital historian for this band.
Yeah. That's my main role at the moment.
No question. Is this a unique thing for Goose in terms of their media sharing and their availability, I would say, online compared to other bands? Because I mean, my deeper question is like 85,000 photos. Will they see the light of day ever?
They would definitely not have had I not done what I've done. I'm not patting myself on the back, but there is no freaking way that you would go through, we're at 40 some drives. No way are you going through 40 some drives looking for folders that may have images in them. Most of them were music. Like they had music, audio, video, and photos combined all in the thing, and art. There was like poster designs, and like there was just random stuff that wasn't really, there was not too much rhyme or reason to it. So I would say the likelihood of going back and finding an image that you maybe had in your mind of like, oh, there was that one image, like you finding that would have just been so minimal. And now I have a very long list of keywords. So like, let's say if you wanted to find Rick in the green room in Madison Square Garden, you type those 3 words and, you got all his images.
Wow.
And I have it all facial, I use the facial recognition tool, and I have to, for every show, think about it. Any face in the crowd needs to be deleted out so that that's not like a placeholder. So like I'll get, over 1,000 hits for faces in one show, and I have to delete all the crowd and then, assign, Rick, Trevor, the crew I do, management I do, photographers, anyone who's like part of the organization has a face in the catalog so that you can go back. If it's someone's birthday, you can give a shout out for their birthday. Hey, it's, Getty's birthday, happy birthday, Getty.
It's crazy. It's a lot. The branches of photography and like where you can, I mean, this is a very specific, from Nuch, the wildlife photographer, that we started to know and became friends with back in 2019, to now getting in like the nitty gritty of like metadata and organizing files. So it's like, it's a parallel step from photography to like, I'm the chemist or engineer behind every photo, like where does it go? I'm putting it on a shelf very specifically. It's just such a, like, when you think photographer, you don't think of that sort of leap and jump. And for that job, there must be 10 other things that you could potentially do with photography as well for someone.
Well, and the missing link too, right? That started as wildlife photography, built a love for photography, brought this camera in. Just to recap, people have heard this story before since you've been on so many times, but just to recap, you brought your camera into a Goose show, even though they told you they didn't need you. You did it anyways, and built a connection from there to concert, right, during COVID.
Yeah.
And now doing the things you just described, like madness. I guess a question before you jump in, because I know you're excited to, is like, how far can you take something? How far can you take this? Have you thought of that, or are you just kind of going day by day?
I mean, obviously, you have to spend a lot of time planning certain things in the different subsets that you have available to you. So for instance, if I'm going to go and I know that my role is going to be a photographer, and I've told this story on the thing, so I'll make it very brief, but like Radio City Music Hall was my first sort of big opportunity to like get my name on the itinerary for the day, and, you know, photo shoot with Nuch between noon and 1. And I had them on the marquee of Radio City Music Hall. And I had, you know, done a lot of research on how I wanted this shot to go. I literally drew it out before I got there and showed it to them and convinced them that this was something we, you know, should take a look at. And, you know, we executed it. And if I wouldn't have put that prep in, it wouldn't have happened that way. So there's a certain amount of thought that you want to put into something, but there's also go with the flow and just see what happens and what doors open. Because that's the craziest part. And that's sort of what Aaron and I were talking about too. And you alluded to it at the top of this, just like, it's insane where we have gotten from 2019 to now. We use 2019, just for anyone listening, is because that's kind of when we all met each other through our community that, you know, a good crew of us started and grew through COVID. So just that time period of knowing one another and what we've done and how we've grown has been really wacky. That's why we kind of reference that, but
and that anyone can do, you know?
It's available to anyone.
Maybe the three of us could sort of reverse engineer that exactly. Like what are the dry steps of 2019 to now? Yeah. And I mean, I'll go the first one is like networking, right? Like finding your like-minded people, and there's a lot of filtering through that. Like not everyone sticks, but really trying to meet a lot of people and just do a lot of things together. I think that was the first one. And some of the crazy things we did were like set up editing contests, set up a East versus West photo thing, and how much effort we put into that with like the scorecards and the baseball card sort of look and the voting and counting votes and spreadsheets. Like that was a full-time job for that 3 months or 2 months, however long we did it. But things that some were one-hit wonders, some were just like, let's do that. But we have the relationships now from that initial step that I think is really a good first step. Is like, don't go this alone. Find people and bounce off people and get involved with what other people are doing. Invite other people to get involved with what you're doing. It just makes that process much faster. Anything to add to that, guys?
I do, but I'll let Mike go first if he pleases.
Yeah, I guess I was going to say, putting a bow on the last thing, which also ties into this, is recognizing that, you know, all of us have a different history prior to photography. We all had a skill set that we brought, a unique skill set that we brought. And we were, you know, we started that little, you know, side hustle called Shutter Team 6, and there were 6 of us. And each one of us had a skill set that was unique to the crew. You know, like I you know, was sort of this wild man that would go do weird shit, whatever. But like we all loved Aaron's, you know, aesthetic And, Seth had a lot of, he was the guy that made it the most, I would say. And we like reached out to him a lot for, how should we approach a job or something like that? Because you for sure had the most amount of experience.
I'm lapped by both of you now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But everyone had, like, Brett was really good people person. We just, everyone had their own, we had the one kid that was the drone pilot. I can't think of his name, but everyone had a unique spot in the thing. And I think, I said that I, started as a photographer with Goose and then made my way to archivist, but that skill set existed from a prior life of like organizing photos, and like I've organized music, I've organized photos. I've done that for forever. So while photography opened the door, my skill set from the past, don't always keep the blinders on and just think photography. Like, bring the other tools in your tool belt with you on these journeys. It's not just like if you quit your job tomorrow, you're in some corporate job and you quit your job, make sure you bring all of that with you into your new endeavor. Like, all of that is useful. I have very few things that I don't draw from in my past to now and to use now in the present. So I would say that early, now getting back to the community thing, we really leaned on everyone's skill set that they brought to the community. Everyone could take pictures. That wasn't what set everyone apart. It was the skill set that each person had that really made us stronger. And that's how we made a really strong, unique team, that Shutter Team 6.
And I will add to that, from that skill set, you can look and then self-reflect and say, where the hell am I super weak?
And then you grow because you see what the other person is doing, and you get that firsthand experience. Like Tom, the drone kid, I
remember the name.
Whatever. We got there. So Tom, was the drone pilot, and I watched him and I saw what he did for us, and there was a sense of like, I could do that. That looks like fun. I'd love to get into that. And then I went and did it. So in surrounding yourself with people that have a skill set that's different than you, pay attention, learn from them, soak up all of that stuff like a sponge, and take that into your next project or endeavor or whatever.
Yeah. To add, I think all three of us and many of the people that, we try to surround ourselves with, I think one of the major common denominators is that no one is afraid to try things. I can't even count how many things we've tried or done that just didn't pan out, or that were like probably terrible ideas.
I feel like we've parlayed them into other things, though, if they didn't work for us right off the bat. Like, I don't feel at any point like I've wasted time doing anything that I've done since 2019.
Well, you beat me to it, because when things don't pan out, you still learn a lot in the process. You learn what didn't work. There's parts of it that went well that you can say, oh, well, that went well during this thing. Let's bring it over here. Mm-hmm. And, get a lot of questions, I think, from people on listeners of the show, where the question about how to start an idea, the idea is always different, but there's messages about how do I begin this thing? And I kind of say the same thing. You just nobody knows what they're doing in the beginning. Not one person. You just got to kind of start doing stuff and accept the fact that you're not going to nail it off the bat. It's going to be 3 or 4 projects down the line where you've built up a lot of lessons from things that have both gone well and not gone well, that you're going to nail the project or the idea, or continuing on and rolling with a specific idea and knowing that there's going to be many, many speed bumps, and just trying pretty much anything that comes to your mind. Wouldn't it be cool if? Go do that. When you have that thought, go do it. Wouldn't it be cool if? Try it. I feel like a lot of people get hung up in this stage of, I don't know where to start. And it sounds so cliche and so corny, but you just start. You just do stuff. And the real reality too is that if you if you do a face plan or you blow it or things don't, nobody cares. Everyone's so wrapped up in their own lives, man, that nobody gives a shit about what you are doing to an extent, of course.
Yeah.
I like to think of it when you're walking through an airport, just everyone is so wrapped up in their own lives. Like you could probably pick your nose the whole way through the gate and no one would even notice, It's just everyone's in their own bubble. And I like to remind myself of that when I don't really get this anymore, but maybe I used to, that worrying about what people are going to think. It's just doesn't matter. It really doesn't,
Yeah. And understanding that you're going to make huge mistakes if you're trying to do huge things.
Yes.
Even if you're photography, you feel like, oh, I'm a 10 out of 10 photographer. I can handle any situation. Then you're going to get fried on the contract or some sort of email miscommunication that you're going to need to learn from as well. Like there are so many, again, just branches of this business or hobby or whatever you're doing that you're like, you can't know it all until you're doing it. And then you realize like, shit, I trusted that person. Like we had a good relationship, but I didn't write this thing down and now we're in trouble. And like Nuch and I have been there with clients where it's like, you've been there. I was thinking of something specifically, but where it's like, dude, this was a huge miscommunication. Like we need to get money down front ahead of time. It was just like a trusting thing. And you learn like that was the wrong move on our parts. Like what idiots we are. And we put in so much work for certain things, but you learn all these little things, even if your photography is spot on. Like we killed that assignment, killed it.
Yeah.
That was perfect in my mind, as perfect as it can be. But our background, our back end job of that project was an F. Like we did a bad job with that.
I remember the one where you were like, I'm punting. Like, do you want to give this a try? Like getting money out of the client. And I just firebombed them.
Yeah.
and they paid up. That was pretty cool.
Yeah. It's amazing.
I don't know. There's lesson in that experience too.
Yeah.
It's important to remember smart and talented people do dumb stuff all the time.
Oh yeah.
All right, so connecting, trying things, making mistakes.
Trying so many things, not just things, like a ridiculous amount.
I've said this every podcast, but with you guys for sure, you cannot let money get in the way of trying something and figuring out what's important to you. You just you got to do these projects sometimes, and just chalk it up to. Either it's a thing that it's like a marketing investment, I guess is what I'd say. You just have to like put your time in, do something, and just don't think about money for it to get started at least. And then once you show them and maybe call it a sample or you make something for a client and just do it for free and do it because you have passion for it, and it usually comes back with more work. But that you get paid for. But if you're passionate about something, don't be discouraged by whether or not you get money. You should still treat it like it's a hobby all the time that you're passionate about. Not like maybe even more than a hobby. It's like that Ted Lasso show where football is life, kid. It's like photography is life. You got to really be all in no matter what.
Yeah, Mike, that reminds me of the Eagle Rare whiskey that we shot on Christmas. You just learned the drone. You wanted to do something. You got some people together. That was not a paid gig, but that one scene included engineering, a spinning ball bearing table. It included drone catches and skateboards and trains and like a lot of stuff going through his house with a bunch of people in it. And that was just for sort of like a blueprint or just an ability to do that. If they love it, cool. If they want to share it, cool. But now I can show anyone this sort of capability and use it as a leveraging chip going forward.
And I used every one of those techniques and fixtures that I built in future projects. Like all of that stuff that I put time into for that video, the launcher for the drones that it could like take off from, this carousel that I made and the carousel thing. I reused all of that stuff in future projects that I got paid for. And because I did it up front and saved it all, it made it that I could make that next project quicker because I didn't have to remake those fixtures and things or, engineer a thing. It was like, oh, I have that. I can incorporate it into this and it'll be sick. And it didn't take any more time or money or energy. It was like, it was just there. So kind of, again, proving my previous statement of just like everything you do, for me, I've found everything I've done in my life has somehow made its way into where I'm at right now. And it's in a really weird kind of spooky way.
Yeah, and you're a musician. It's learning music. Yeah. It's like you're jamming and you're like, oh, this sounds like that. Like I remember this run, like from that song, but I'm going to put it in this song and or this technique or this feel or this sort of rhythm. It kind of grows and you get this repertoire of things as you're going. And again, back to the networking. If you don't have something, you know who to reach out to and say like, hey, can you help me with this? Hey, I'm in a bind. You did it once with a Goose video. You needed color grading like immediately. And you reached out to me and were like, what are you doing tomorrow? Like, I need an 8-hour day from you. And I was like,
my buddy who had the footage was like an hour from you. It was perfect. I was like, he was like, dude, I don't do color grading. Like, what should I do here? And I was like, dude, my buddy's like an hour away. You guys could probably meet halfway and, it's only 30 minutes and get her done.
Yeah.
And that was perfect. Saved our ass. It was great.
So I think in my mind, a next step after you're meeting people, you're getting these skills, I think is we've all sort of branched off and done our own thing a bit and said like, this is what I'm liking. This is what I'm passionate on. Like, I'm going to try some of this on my own. I'm going to leave the nest. I'm going to fly and try to complete some projects on your own. And sometimes projects incorporate 10 people, 3 people, whatever it may be. But there's a lot of projects out there that you can search and you can find and work on your timeline that it's like, I'm going to take on this big thing on my own. At least for me, working with a crew took a lot of the pressure off, a lot of the stress off.
Oh my God. Yeah.
A lot of the potential failures, not just going to be on me. It's another level and another step to be like, I'm going to take something on completely on my own and try to do it start to finish and have pride in that whole project and the passion behind it. So I think that is another next step of what's gotten us to where all three of us have been, is saying like, this is kind of my thing. I'm going to do it. And with your crew, if you have a good crew, there's only encouragement and help and no hard feelings. There's no jealousy. There's no like pulling each other down or bailing on each other. Like we're all have been here to help in certain ways, whether it's a edit look or a video sort of proofing, whatever it may be.
We've had Seth do sound design for some of our stuff.
Design, like we're all helping each other in that sense. And there's no sense of like, oh, you're doing that? Like, what the hell? No. Why don't you invite me? None of that crap.
I hate that crap. I don't want to work with people who are like mine, like anyone who's like me, mine, get away. Like, I don't have time for that. It's unnecessary. We all have our own style. That's the thing I learned from landscape. That was a huge, huge lesson that I learned from landscape. And then when I got into music, I was like, whoa, that's like really different than what I'm used to. I'll reference the Adirondack trip that we took, Aaron, that group. I think it was, I don't remember where it was, but we all went for that early morning 6 a.m. hike, and we got to the top and there was like the vista, but we were all on that little tiny ledge. And they're like, we're crossing tripods, and it's like, we're all getting the same shot. It was the one Brett slept in on.
Yeah.
Brett,
sorry if you're listening.
Brett, sorry.
Again.
Sorry again. That epic sky. Remember how freaking amazing that was?
He's rubbing it in. Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, we were all on the same little 6-foot ledge, right? Tripod's locked. It's all the same shot. Everyone's final image looked completely different from everyone else's. And why is that? So why, you use a different lens, you have a different color scheme, you have a different, composition that you chose to select. Everyone's got their own flavor. And if you don't, that says something. Like if you're not secure enough in your aesthetic, look, ability, and you start to lash out at other people, that's insecurity. That is someone who just doesn't really, you're just not quite there yet. You should reflect a little bit and think about why am I lashing out? What is it about me? Why am I not helping? Why am I not, there's no reason whatsoever to not be supporting the person next to you on something like that. It's not like, hey, I'm going to go here and then destroy the scene, so I'm the only one that has this image.
Right.
You're just not doing a good enough job if you feel that insecure in your work.
I like the idea recently of, if I'm threatened or offended, maybe I needed to hear it.
I'm sorry, in what way?
Just to your point, that having an experience that makes me feel that way, insecure or threatened, is one I needed to have.
Oh, yeah. It's a lesson that should be learned.
Yeah.
Analyze why am I acting this way? Why am I feeling this way? Because there really is no reason for that. You should definitely be able to support everyone on their journey.
As Peter Crone says, where you're triggered is just another space of where you're not free, right? Yeah. It's a good place to ask why. Why is this bothering me so much? Yeah. What has happened that I'm getting offended by something that has nothing to do with me personally? It's outside of it. Yeah.
When was the last time you were pissed off?
Who are you asking that to?
I'm leaving it ambiguous or open. Experiment in real time.
Yeah, right. I this is going to be hard for you guys to believe, but I am in a different place now than I have been for a lot of years. And I don't want to get pissed anymore. I don't want to react negatively. I don't want people to be able to control my mood. I think that's for me to control. Like if someone's getting my goat, I should breathe, relax, understand why this is happening, and diffuse the situation, as opposed to propelling it forward and encouraging it. There's just nothing to be gained, and I don't want to be triggered like that anymore. I want control over my body and mood and stuff. I don't want some shithead to be able to control how I feel. So I've been spending a lot of time and trying to be more patient, to be quite honest. I know that sounds ridiculous for
no.
Who I am, but no, just for who I was, I guess, when I first met you guys. I definitely was like a hothead that had a short temper, but I recognize that's not really like how I want to be anymore.
Yeah, I mean, when you do what you just described, not allowing external factors to send you off the edge, you bring back an internal locus of control, right? You bring back some more agency, that I have more control over my life and how I feel than maybe I thought I did prior.
Yeah.
That's liberating.
It's a mindset. I'm not perfect. Obviously, I still, it takes a tremendous amount of work to keep it cool, but
I think for everybody, it's an ongoing practice in, I don't even know what you want to call it. Just stoicism.
Recognition.
Recognition. Control.
Yeah.
And I want to ask you because, I would agree you were somebody who maybe had a short temper, and maybe if things weren't done the way you wanted them done, it would really affect your mood or your day. I don't know. I'm not inside your head, but just an external observation. I'm curious to know if there's like a moment or a series of moments where for you decided, hey, this is not how I want to feel anymore, or if it was just kind of a gradual lifestyle change.
I definitely got a lot of feedback about who I was as a person, who I still am as a person. I still get feedback, but it was more like, you're right. And like a lot of it was like at work, like in my corporate gig. Like I was bringing home a lot of baggage, and it's like, why? Like this isn't this is not worth getting cooked over, you know? Like, why am I doing this? Like, I need to chill out. And like people at work would like, you know, do stupid things or say stupid things that I didn't agree with. And it's like, so what? Like, I don't own this company. It's not my thing. You know, I work for these people. I could leave anytime I want. I'm not like tied to this thing. It's just like, I chose to be here. Why am I getting so boiled, you know? And then I realized, you know, it's kind of spilling over into other facets of my life. This sort of energy I get like all like juiced up when things aren't going right. I'm like, why am I doing that? Like, I don't like who I am when I'm in that mode. So it's just been an ongoing, you know, effort to change. And then, you know, live a little bit healthier. Yeah, it's you know, you want to keep your mind healthy, you want to keep your body healthy. That all goes in the good column for having longevity and being able to go up into northern Canada and shoot polar bear, right? Like if you're sick and you don't have your health, you don't have any of these fun things that we've all been doing. You know, I can't go run around arenas. You know how cooked I am now, and I'm in pretty decent shape at the end of the day of running around Madison Square Garden. It's like it's insane. You got to be in good shape.
We talked about this. Like, this is a new chapter in our lives, and it came a bit late for us. Relatively. Like, we didn't start in our 20s doing this and getting into it by 25 and being as fit and jacked as we possibly could be and recovering the next day. We're
walked around Alaska all oiled up using his pecs in front of brown bears.
Yeah, wearing these glasses, and that's it. But we had this talk maybe a year ago, just saying like, dude, I want to get in shape. Like I want to maintain shape because I want to be able to do this for a long time. And I think you even referenced like other people in the biz or whatever that are like huffing and puffing and just not doing well. And I think something hits in your midlife where it's like, whew, wow. Like, not that I can see the finish line, but it's over the hill right there. Like I want to keep it going.
I'm done drinking. Yeah. I'm done drinking. I can't, the way I feel the next day, I have to donate 2 days to drinking because like it's the day of being drunk. And then the next day is just absolutely destroyed. Like I can't function at a high level anymore. It's not how I used to be, but it is just reality now. And I do other things now to replace that. So I'm not hungover, and still, still have outlets. But I can't, I had, my bourbon collection. Like like, it's ridiculous. Like, I don't know what to do with it. I have to figure out how to unload it. Yeah. I have hundreds of bottles of bourbon.
One last vendor, I guess, and finish it all in a month.
Yeah. Right.
I'm kidding. I do not advocate for that.
No. Yeah, it's crazy. It's a weird shift in my lifestyle, but you got to recognize what's not working and what is working, and rank your priorities because for me, I can't do that anymore.
Yeah, I feel like you get to a point where what you're working on currently, or your gig with Goose, the value that brings artistically, financially, etc., ends up making the trade-off of a fun night with booze not make sense.
Yeah, 100%.
Makes putting your feet on the floor the next morning and going, not hungover, so worth it.
Yeah.
Not hungover and still exhausted and tired. And like, if you just added that to it, talk about 2 days, maybe 3 or 4.
I'm still waking up feeling like shit, and I'm probably in the best shape I've been in 30 years.
Yeah.
Since like high school hockey. It's ridiculous, but I still, there's still so many factors going against you,
Can I ask a question? Maybe a deeper question. No, I can because it's
no questions here.
That was rhetorical.
That was a bad question.
When you're dating this girl and you're like, shit, like she's out of my league. I'm going to like shape up. And you do. Sometimes you like shift who you are to stick with something that's very good for you. It has a lot of this transformation been with the eyes. Like it has Goose and this opportunity. Is she the prom queen that's like really made you look at how you're going about things? And again, 5 years ago, you're touting all this. Look at this bourbon. Look at this bourbon. I've closets filled of this stuff. Like, this is a big part of my life. This is something I'm really interested in and like really into. Getting pissed off here and there. Burning bridges, whatever it may be. Taking a really good look in the mirror and being like, I want to keep this girl. In a sense, using like the opportunities and everything that you've had and worked for, but making sure that it stays.
I have invested heavily into, my passion. I've invested in equipment. I've invested in myself, in knowledge. I've invested in my health. And I've invested in a lot of new relationships. Mm-hmm. And it has 100% changed who I am as a person, because the opportunity that I've been given to do what I'm doing right now is pretty, it's a pretty rare thing. You don't get to hook up with one of your favorite rock bands and work for them. That doesn't really happen for most people. And I recognize that I'm in a good spot, and I don't want to do anything to fuck that up, for sure. Mm-hmm. And I've definitely grown as a human through this process. And it's been cool to grow with the band through this process, because they're also, I kind of caught the rocket just as it was, it was kind of off the ground already, but like I was able to jump and grab it. Mm-hmm. So to ride the ride up into, space has been pretty impactful to me, especially someone who's, been a musician their entire life and always like had that like, ooh, I wonder what that would be like to take music to the highest level. And while I don't get to be in a band playing music to do that, I am 100% adjacent to it, mm-hmm. with a front row seat of what it would have been like had I been able to, make a push with music. So that's very special. And there's nothing right now that I would do to compromise that. And I'm constantly trying to grow and evolve to stay current, mm-hmm. and stay useful.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that concept of, I've invested too much time, come too far. I've gotten myself in such a good position to allow myself to self-sabotage.
Exactly. For sure. I could be complacent, right? I could be like, oh, I'm making videos for them. I'm managing their data. That's, I did it. That I can just like stop learning. I don't have to invest any more money in equipment. I don't have to, see what the new tech is out there, or, I don't have to, do anything above and beyond. I landed in the seat. But how long, and this is true for this is true for anything here. This isn't just like working for whoever, but literally every aspect in life. If you care about something, you need to constantly reinvest and evolve and stay at the top of your game, or there's mm-hmm. too many human beings out there. Like anyone can like step in and do the thing. It's like you built relationships, you've built, a brand for yourself. You've built an arsenal of equipment. It's just like, you've done all these things. Why stop? You're passionate about it. Don't forget that you had this passion and become complacent. Keep going, keep driving, keep seeing what other doors can you open along the way.
Yeah. So it sounds like, just to clarify, and I agree with this, that complacency is a form of self-sabotage, whether it takes 2 weeks to implode or 20 years.
For sure.
if you stop paying attention to things, you get left behind, or other people outgrow you.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like, to go to Aaron's example, landing the girl and you say, "Hi, I got her. We'll stop going on dates and having fun now." Like,
Right.
Now I'm a slob. Now I'm going to just start eating whatever I want and just turning into a total fucking slob.
Yeah.
Right. So I would agree that complacency is a form of self-sabotage that
100%
could creep up fast, or it could maybe get you in the long run.
Yeah. You have to decide. I think it's active, like day to day, you have to decide what's important to you and put in the time, which I think you can look at it in an opposite way. And maybe this transitions to Instagram is like putting a lot of time into scrolling or sending reels or looking at stuff or opening up the app. Is this helping my career? Is this helping my passion? Is this helping my hobby? Honestly, some of it does, sure, and there's a place for it, sure, but the goal of the app is to just keep you on there. And if you're on there, you're not using your two hands to be doing the thing.
Yeah, that's it exactly. Is that little end portion is like, be honest with yourself. Go in and look at the time that you spend on the app per day, per week. I guarantee for most people, it's over 7-8 hours. That's a full work day, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a full work day. What could I have done with that 8 hours? I literally just had this conversation the other day. I don't have enough time to do X, Y, Z. I am sorry. I don't think there are many people that are working their ass off as hard as us. I'll use us, like that I have time to do so much shit. I'm a father, I'm a engineer, I'm a archivist for Goose, I make documentaries for Goose, I work for Legends doing marketing stuff. I, go visit friends and hang out and still do things. I go out for dinner. I do all these things. How am I able to do that? I'm not on my phone that often. I'm not, doing stupid shit that's just a time suck. I don't watch TV at all. I'm in my living room. There isn't even a TV in my living room right now. Like, it's just not something I place value on. And I'm not saying you can't watch TV. I'm just saying you have to prioritize what's important to you. And if being the best at something and striving to be the best at something is your goal, then you have to put a significant amount of time in that and prioritize everything else based off of it.
Yeah, I think the other thing that happens too is obviously there's a very small percentage of creators in our photography community on Instagram, TikTok, whatever, where yes, it is your full-time job. You're required to be in there mingling, posting 3 times a day, etc. I think what happens is, because those accounts and that content is so constantly pushed to the rest of the community, the 99.99% of the remainder of the community, that large majority thinks that, hey, this is what's required. This is what being a successful creator looks like, because they're consuming the life, the routine of that small, 0.1 percentage. Whereas if you just want to be a really successful photographer and make, have cool experiences with your camera, maybe make money, that's just one path. That's not, there's no requirement that you post anything or view anything on your Instagram at all. I feel like there's just this image or this persona that gets just viciously put in front of the community that this is what it means to be, a success. We've said it so many times on the show. I routinely come back to this. The other thing I like to ask myself too is, after 5 minutes of scrolling in the app, is not what is this doing for me, but also how do I feel after? To your point, Mike, how do I feel when you're angry all the time? I don't like how I felt. You ever take a minute and notice how do I feel when after viewing 4 reels of rage bait, or I don't know,
Yeah.
just whatever. Like I don't feel good after this necessarily.
I just watched an interview on this exact topic, and there is a yin and yang to dopamine release from scrolling Instagram or YouTube, and there's a counterpoint to that. It's almost like a pendulum. You have to, if you get all this dopamine, your body wants to stay in homeostasis. It wants to be in equilibrium. To get there, it actually brings pain along with it. So you have great joy, great pleasure out of the dopamine fix, but then to balance the thing, and it always overshoots, and it overshoots for a prolonged amount of time, is this pain factor. So you do feel like shit after a long time of scrolling and being kind of a zombie, and your body stays in a depressed, angry, ornery, agitated state for a long period of time. And the dry out period is longer than you think. I mean, they want you to go for like a month to detox. Sense. It's not 2 weeks. It's like a month to detox Instagram. And that's what I did.
Recently, I did 5 times the effect of alcohol on the brain. I've been seeing that study.
Oh yeah. No, it's an insane.
This is why we liken it. We compare it to drinking. If I'm opening up a 6-pack every night and it's self-inflicting physical harm and ruining my mentality and my mood, what is the difference between scrolling Instagram for 2 hours and feeling like a piece of garbage by the time I'm done? Tell me what the difference is.
That's the hangover.
Exactly.
You have the dopamine fix of the initial drinking and getting drunk, and then the body's way of tipping the balance properly is to give you a hangover and make you feel like shit. Mm-hmm. That is how you balance the mechanism, which is it's wild to think about.
Right. So I mean, there's listeners who listen. They feel like we demonize the app, and we do. But I mean, this is just our experience, and I think Aaron and I agree really, and you, Mike. Sure, I'll update you on my life, but I just don't really see the time trade-off making any sense for the bigger picture things that me personally want to do with my career and life.
The real portion of it is a suck. I think that we were all on this app before Reels became a thing. When it was just, we were using it as a website to showcase our work. And I think it was fine for that. I think when you were using it as a showcase of your work, like a web page, just like a really simple web page that you could, direct people to look at what you're capable of doing, that was appropriate for what we do as content photographer creators. When the Reels thing came in and people needed to jump, there were all those memes about photographers needing to make videos now and adapting. That was right. Like, if you wanted to still maintain the same sort of status that you had as a good photographer on this platform, you needed to jump over to video and make silly things. And if you want to play that game and still maintain it, more power to you. But for me personally, that distracted me from what my goals were, which was just to get my work in front of people, to have like a high visible website to showcase my work.
And I jumped into that. I tested that water. I did. I did funny things. I had funny ideas. I said, you know what? I'm going to take hours to go film this idea. And beyond that,
I'm sorry to interrupt, but that's an investment. Would you not agree? In yourself. You were trying to make an investment in yourself, right?
I was.
And so what was the return?
Well, here's the thing. A couple of those videos went in that day and age, went viral, let's call it. Millions of views, 13 million views.
Yeah.
Like a couple in a row, gained a lot of followers. What I got from that, the investment, was answering thousands, hundreds of comments, and or being flooded with DMs about like cool stuff, like, which is nice, but nothing. When there's 1,000 cool stuffs, it now becomes now a lot of negative feelings come in. Am I a jerk for not responding to this? Am I ignoring these? Do I leave this on red? Do I have to respond to everything? That's been my thing in the past. When people comment on a photograph, I appreciate it. I say thank you.
So you're adding anxiety.
No, yeah. But my point was, what was your return on your investment? Not answering comments. That's not why you got onto the platform as a photographer. What benefit did that have to you being a photographer?
Just about zero.
Okay, that's what I was going for.
Yeah. Now, to go back to the start of our conversation where we had mentioned trying everything and not, I would say, Aaron, that there's no regret in that. I think you learned.
No, yeah.
No, it's not. And I got a lot of followers from a couple of those videos, which I went, oh, that's cool. Like that happened. But again, if that's we've talked about this before, if that's the only metric, there's no end to that game.
No, there's no end. You're not going to get 500 million followers as a photographer. So like, what do you actually care about? You're not going to monetize. You're not going to monetize at 13,000 followers. It's like,
if at 100,000 it just said max, then there would be a game that you could end. You have the max.
It just stays. It's like Mario Brothers, like the original Mario Brothers. Like when you get so many lives, it's just like 99 lives, and it just never goes to 100. And you're just
then there's a waiting line. Like there's a line to get in. So someone's got to unfollow you before the next person gets in.
Right.
You're at 100,000. You win the game, and now you can focus on other things. But I got there's so many people that were at 50,000. Now I want to get to 75. Now I want to get to 100. Now I want to get to 250. Now I want to get to 300,000. I would love to get to 500,000. That game never ends. And what's it returning to play that game? You can't play the other games. You can't play life.
Well, let me make one devil's advocate argument. So you're saying there's no end game to increasing follower count, which I agree with. That's undisputable. The other things that we're enjoying doing, let's say the podcast, or Mike is doing his thing with Goose. There's no end to what you can achieve in that either.
No, but it's a resource. It's a time thing, right? What's more important?
I'm not trying to take a side. I'm just trying to show that neither something that we've dubbed as having minimal value and the other projects we're working on that we see as having tremendous value both have no finite capacity.
No, I'm sorry. This whole thing started with time, right? Okay. Like I how much time do I have to execute the things that I care about? Somebody's saying, I don't have enough time in my life to do X, Y, and Z. And my argument is, go back to your phone, go look at these apps and see how long you're on these apps for. I don't think, unless you're monetizing Instagram or whatever platform, should you be spending that much time on it? Unless you can directly correlate the value of the time that you invest into the app to supporting what you're doing outside, and it actually does move the needle for you, what are you doing? That's just like, to me, that is non-value added where you could be monetizing something else.
Right.
Like for instance, I can't take a vacation day anymore from my corporate job unless I'm making money, because that's what I care about in this moment in my life, is like, just, I want to hit it as hard as I can. And I only have a finite amount of time for vacation, for PTO. And I choose now, my game is to try and like get as many gigs and get my brand out there to as many people as I can and self-support myself through creative endeavors.
Yeah.
That's my goal in life right now.
Perhaps.
And I can't do that if I'm like scrolling mindlessly through reels, and then there's this hangover that I have and I'm cooked for the day,
Perhaps there is a group of people where everything you've just described, your desire to hit it as hard as you can, to quote you, perhaps the desire is to be an internet personality.
Sure. Yeah. And then I'm not making fun of those people or disparaging any of that. I'm just saying we are all content creators who, like, when we get jobs and make money, it's because we're like hitting the pavement, going and actually doing the thing. It really has little to do with Instagram. Maybe we initially like made a contact through that, or directed someone to our thing, but it had nothing to do with creating reels or scrolling.
Yeah. And you know what,
Right.
to build off of what you're saying, because I could see someone listening saying, well, it's not about the money for me. Okay.
That's cool. I set out my priority.
No, but I would still say that all three of us are still artistically fulfilled.
100%.
Which is the point I'm trying to make. Like, you don't need to be artistically fulfilled. You don't have to be on Instagram to be artistically fulfilled. I think you need to be on Instagram to be egotistically fulfilled.
I really only use Instagram anymore to put pictures out to just like continually update my website.
Right. And I'm not suggesting have an entire death of the ego. I think it's important to share.
Yeah. Sure.
And because going back to our sense of community, that's a lot of a reason or a way of how people establish community. And, you get inspired by other people's work, you find like-minded people, etc. That's all good. But at least you're speaking of utility in that sense. Like that serves a purpose.
I would not say death of ego. I'm sorry. I'm going to shut the hell up after this. But the death of ego comment, I would argue that, well, death of ego is maybe not the goal, but it should be a pretty empty tank. At least a low tank. And if you're getting really boosted off of Instagram, I think you should really take a step away and see how screwed up you feel. Cause like, I haven't gotten to this point yet. And I know we were going to talk about it, but like when I gave up Instagram for like a month and a half, I literally just put my first reel out. I think it's been like a month and a half. The first week, maybe 2 weeks, I was going subconsciously, like completely unconsciously into my phone to where the app is to tap the button. And I'm like, why the fuck am I doing this? I put it back in my pocket. And then next thing I know, my phone is in my hand and I'm pushing the fucking button again. I'm like, why am I doing this? And so I had to I took it and put it like 4 pages away on my phone from the homepage. And then like, I'd take my phone. Then it took a while just to like stop taking my phone out of my pocket. Like I was addicted. Addicted. And it felt disgusting. Addicted. I was behaviorally locked. And it took a solid 2 weeks for me to finally be like, I'm not constantly pulling my phone out of my pocket to like
I'm not
do nothing. Yeah, I literally felt like a slave, and that felt gross, and that really opened my eyes. I would challenge everyone just for a day. See if you can make it a day without pulling your phone out of your pocket and tapping that button. I bet you can't do it.
Or the other thing we've done is we've advised people to microdose Instagram in a sense where, like I have an app mentioned a bunch of times, Zen Screen, where you can set the amount of times the app is allowed to open per day, and you can set the duration before it kicks you out. So mine is like 5 minutes, 5 times a day, and I never max it out. Rarely do I. What do you think about that concept versus just cold turkey for a long time?
I don't like it. I was just about to say, I don't like that. Like, what is going on in my brain that I actually have to push that button? I don't want to microdose. I want to be like, that to me scares me and makes me kind of disgusted about myself, that I'm that much of a slave to my phone. Like that I have to push that button.
Perhaps it's bringing back a sense of control. Like I'm choosing when to use my opens. I'm choosing to put a cap on the time spent in there. I see what you're saying, but at the same time,
for me, it doesn't work.
That's fair. There still are features of the platform that I enjoy using. I like sending reference work to people like Aaron and yourself, even though you won't answer me anymore. I've tried to rebrand myself as a Canadian outdoor photographer, videographer. So anything to do with the outdoors, I'm interested in shooting or filming. So like every time I get an ad in my home feed for saunas, wakeboards, etc. You know how you get every other post is a friggin' ad? I follow those accounts because I think to myself, I have a body of work that lives on my website. These people clearly value putting advertising dollars behind their products. Perhaps I can reach out to them. So I'm honestly scraping ads on my home feed, following the accounts and cataloging them to reach out to them later. Like that's another way I'm using Instagram as a utility tool now. Haven't posted in like God knows when. I think I posted a meme to my story where my Instagram gave me my July insights. It's like, you shared one post in July, like keep the momentum going. You're doing so great. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about?
So I'm not.
I think here. I was just going to say. I mean, you're using it. You can use rubbing alcohol, but I don't suggest you drink it. Right?
Sure.
Like you are using it in a very tactical, smart, controlled way for a certain purpose. And I do think it's just like a drug, where what Mike's saying is, if you're on there too much, it'll get you. It'll get you where
heroin.
Yeah, just you're now behaviorally stuck to it. Now you're scrolling, you wake up, it's the first thing your brain needs. I'm just going to go on Reels and fire some things off and catch up on the 400 Reels that other people have sent me, and it becomes this thing that can get away from you. I think also, to touch back on a few other points, where as photographers, it's very muddy. Instagram became muddy in terms of like, is it your work that you're representing, or is it your identity, yourself? Right. And that got confused, especially with Reels, when it's like, and I've made fun of this, where it's like, you have to be, I want to look really cool before I show you my photo. So like, more of the work is the dress and makeup and hair before you film yourself in camo out in the woods. That had nothing to do with the shot that you're going to show, but to present yourself in a certain way. And then that got attention through Reels, and people had this, I think, false sense of, whoa, I'm pretty cool. Like, a lot of people are following me. I'm going to keep this going. And then to keep up with that sort of game, now you're completely hooked to the sauce. Now it's like, you made the point of like, you should ask yourself if you're feeling really good about a certain engagement or whatnot. I think the question really is like, are you feeling really bad about a certain number of engagements, or posting something and it doesn't go well? Is that tanking your day? Because if that's the case, fuck nerd.
Yeah, I mean, you ever leave a conversation with somebody feeling really good, and you're like, yeah, felt really good about that interaction.
Yeah, right now with you two gents.
Oh, yeah, nice. And then other times you're like, I don't want to ever see that person again in my life.
Right now with you two gents.
Yeah. I mean, I like to think about it that way. You know, how I routinely check in on myself. How am I feeling about this? How am I feeling about this conversation with you two right now? You know, how am I feeling? Where am I feeling it? What's going on? Obviously, a lot of that is, subconscious, but I really don't think we check in with how we're feeling enough in real time during experiences that could really use that analysis. I really don't. I think a lot of us walk around, and I used to be this way, just clueless to how we're feeling, in constant states of arousal, constant states of stress, inflammation, and we don't realize how shit we actually feel until something, breaks.
Yeah. That was more my point about walking away from Instagram, because you said, I still use it for practical purposes and I don't want to give that up. That is not what I'm saying. I don't know if this is like something that happens in Canada, but in the States, if you want to carry a stun gun, you have to get hit with it first. You have to understand how painful it is before you pull it out and use it on a civilian. And that's kind of what I'm saying about Instagram. I don't give a shit about a drip mentality or a microdosing mentality. I want you, or I implore you to give it up cold turkey and see what that feeling is like, because it's a really fucked up feeling to walk away from it. And I think that's really weird, that I'm like addicted to like a phone and like a thing on a phone and having to push this button. And I don't think you have a full sense. You should know how weird you feel when you can't do that. And I think that will maybe guide some of your actions down the line. Go cold turkey, see what withdrawal feels like, and see how ridiculous it is that you feel this way for and what that effect has on your body.
I can't wait for all these clips to end up on our reels on Instagram.
Yeah.
That we don't post though. Thank you, Hillary. Thank you, Hillary,
for taking the hit,
for navigating the minefield for us, so we don't get sucked in.
What's interesting, I think, is, it's pretty clear if you're slamming liters of alcohol, that's not going to be good for you. I think studies are starting to come out, but I got to tell you, like, I work in a school with young kids, and they are on their phone on TikTok anytime they can. They're sneaking out of class to go check their phones. It's like, it is an addiction. It is a problem. And if there are brain effects to it, it's only going to get worse and worse and worse. And it's as if someone was like alcohol for kids. Like, I don't know. It's probably not that bad. Here, kid. Like, parents are handing them the bottle.
Yep.
Like, they're handing them the bottle and being like, whatever, just, don't text mean things to people. Like, I don't know if parents understand the rules. I don't know if they understand the games. They don't. And that's the scary part. And there's no real like PSAs. There's no real things out there unless you search for them. Like,
unless you try to like stop using Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Just give it a try. Just try and do it for a week.
And
that doesn't even cure you or make you better. Getting rid of it for a week, it will just let you get the sensation of like, oh my God, I'm missing the thing. Like, this is fucked up, And now project that onto your child. Do you want your child to feel that way? Is that okay?
And my question is like, where's the, alcohol is a clear rock bottom. We can picture it. We can see it. We've seen it for hundreds of years. Like, we get it. Like, where's the rock bottom? Is it like, does it become mental illness? Does it become crippling anxiety? Does it become depression? Like, what's the rock bottom? Zero attention span, medicated. Like, where?
That's gotta be one of them. I mean, how can you pay attention to anything when the most exciting thing possible in the world is on your phone?
Yeah.
And
we know what addiction's been around since the beginning of time. I mean, whether it's gambling or alcohol or, there's addiction's been with us since the start of humans, but this is a new form of it. And what effects does it have long-term? Like, each of those addictions come with their own set of consequences. And I think the jury's still out. We've really only had, the first Apple phone came out in 2008. So it really hasn't even been that much time to have a full, healthy sample size of what the effects could be.
Yeah, and for the first few years of that iPhone, there wasn't the wide availability, and
there's a huge spike in childhood anxiety and depression in 2013. I want to say, I don't have it in front of me, and that coincides exactly with the self-facing camera.
Yeah.
Sure. And social media.
Yeah.
I mean, so I think it's important to hear. It's important that listeners hear that, Mike, you're, I'm not trying to embarrass you, but you're killing it. You're like one of the most successful photographers I know. Your arc has been crazy. From, I'm going to go in my backyard, lay here for a bit and try and get a fox, to I'm archiving my favorite bands, all their digital assets. Mm-hmm. And I want people to hear that you've listened to Mike talk for the last 30 minutes about how I don't need to be on a platform. Like, you just don't need to be on it to have both an artistically and financially fulfilling career as an artist.
And I don't want people to think, oh, he's got a job already that he likes doing and that's it. I've had this attitude about this thing for a very long time, like well before I was with Goose. I've just not really dug any of it. I was definitely more engaged with it, and I played around with it more, but eventually I kind of saw it for its limitations, for, again, what I wanted to do for myself. I'm not saying that if you spend time on there's no value whatsoever. I'm sure people are working the system and doing the thing and they're making money and they're killing it. I'm not talking about those people. I'm talking about people that are more in line with me, you know, Brett, Adam, like the people that we know and engage with. They're not really using it the way an influencer is using it and actually monetizing through the app. They're using it indirectly to get jobs through the app and using it more as a website than as a tool to generate commerce.
Right.
Does that make sense? What I'm
Yeah. I mean, if you use it as an influencer, that's a 40-hour work week and you're hitting it all day. I think
they're putting in mad hours. Like they're not slouching. They're not just scrolling reels. They're working the system and they're using multiple applications to like target this thing and like make it work for themselves. And that's great. That's like a different thing. That's not what we're doing though. That's not what I'm here talking about. For what I'm talking about and what I do, what we do, I don't see much value in it at all, other than it being a website. And then I realized this fucking website, unlike a Squarespace website, is making me open the damn thing and click this button every day. And that to me is gross. And I don't want that to be a part of my life. In the same way, I don't want to drink coffee to have to start my day. So I don't drink coffee because I don't want to have to be beholden to the substance to get my day started. It's like almost the same thing. Because not as obviously there's not as crippling effects, but it's still that like I need this to do this. I don't like those. They feel more like speed bumps than actual like assets.
This all sounds like a giant quest for you to feel like you are in 100% control of the action you take. And when you feel that way, you feel you're most confident. You feel the best about yourself, etc. Is that fair to say? Just to clarify?
Yep. I think that's 100% accurate.
Right. So, you know, an in control Mike is a happy Mike.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
For sure.
It's speed bumps, optimizing, you know, trying to like, I want to be the best version of myself without going crazy, without going nuts, but understanding and looking, like auditing. We talk about audit your system all the time. Like audit.
How do you suggest people do that, Aaron? Like, what do you tell kids when they're trying? Like, how do you get kids to feel how they're feeling?
It's tough
because we're all just big children, you know?
Yeah. No, it's really tough, but you have to have very truthful and sometimes painful honesty about what is going on and what sometimes are you distracting from, what are you not taking care of instead of this idea, this thing. I know, I can admit there's a direct correlation with me doing unhealthy things and going through a hard time in life. Like everyone's going to have hard times in life, but listen, here's a little hint. If you see me start posting a lot on Instagram and stories and reels and whatever, I'm going through something.
So we'll check in on you if you post a lot.
Sure. Please do. But it is a tell. It is a tell. When things are going well, I'm not reaching for the bottle. I'm not reaching for those things. I'm not reaching for the distractions. So I think that can be one clue. If you're going through a hard time, where are we going to distract from? Are we going to start hitting the gym? Maybe we could train for a 10K instead. Maybe we could fill our time with that. Maybe we could walk the dog more. Whatever it may be, try to pick consciously certain things. I think the scary thing is the barrier to entrance of Instagram. Like if I woke up and I'm depressed and I need to go make a drink, like I have to actually go do a bunch of shit to make a drink and face that process. To just distract for 40 minutes in bed, I could just press a button and then scroll with my thumb, you know? Right. And now they're saying that's worse for your brain than alcohol. I'm not sure of the science on that. I don't have the study in front of me, but
we are not MDs.
Easy. It reminds me of cigarettes. We all know, bad. Let's replace that with vaping. Okay, I'm going to get rid of cigarette smoke. That's a better idea. I'm going to vape. But now this vape is available to keep under my pillowcase. I could wake up at 3 a.m. and have a hit of nicotine versus where I used to have to go outside, get my lighter, put a coat on, light a cigarette, Like the barrier to entrance for these things is so minimal, it could really catch you where you're not even focused on the process of what's going on. So I think really looking at it, it tells you what time you're having on it. I talk to kids that are on that thing 8 hours a day. Their phones, 8 hours a day. And I do math on the whiteboard. 8 hours a day times 365. You would be the best pianist in the world if you put half of that time into piano.
Problem is, it's not as exciting.
No, of course not. But what do you like? Skateboarding? What do you like? Guitar? Art? What are the things that you really do like? Like, it is there and it's going to grab people. Like, it's going to hook certain people and they're going to get hooked and they're going to graduate as adults with like zero skills, zero abilities to really do anything unless you can put down that thing. It's just a time thing. In this day and age, I've said it before, I think it's so easy to raise savage kids that can kick ass, because if you have the rest of the world handicapped with sucking 6 to 8 hours of their day out of their day, and I have my kid without that, practicing soccer for 2 hours, just 2 hours, go practice soccer, you are going to be a savage. You're going to crush. Go practice math. Go read. Practice viola. Violin.
Everybody, I think, not even just kids.
No, but yeah, of course.
That's China's TikTok strategy right there.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, exactly. Explain for the people that are like, what strategy?
China, runs TikTok. Their algorithms for other countries promote mindless bullshit, and it's to try and keep kids on there doing stupid things and not learning and not doing anything of value. Whereas all of the kids in China, their stuff gets promoted when it's math-based, science-based, STEM stuff, arts. Whenever that's the stuff that gets promoted. You think that the kids in China are doing dances? Like, that's not the shit that's catching fire. Like,
right.
It's to try and undermine the quality of future generations.
Yeah,
that's a whole strategy. It's proven.
Wild.
Yeah,
we could go on forever.
Well, yeah.
We need a cap, I thought, right? We got to have an end game.
Yeah, we need an end game.
I like your concept of 100,000 and that's it. And then there's a waiting line to get in.
With money too. You got to a 1 billion, you're done.
Yeah.
You're done.
You know what? That interesting parallel with that too is that I feel like people always say, if I had 50 million, or if I had $1 billion, I'd be different from all the other billionaires. I wouldn't get sucked into all that kind of stuff. I would be so generous and all this stuff. I bet you it doesn't work out that way. Just like people saying, if I had $1 million, I'd be responsible. I'd still be able. I feel like my point is, there is, as you're saying, a number that's enough where you maybe don't entirely lose the plot, money, followers, etc. And I think it's very naive to think that you can outsmart systems that are designed to keep you addicted or make you act a certain way. Like, there's no way in the example of the phone, there's no way you can beat the phone unless you get rid of the things on it entirely, unless you throw it away. You just can't. There are billions and billions of dollars in R&D that are entirely spent to, how do I keep you on here? Are you that arrogant to think you can beat that?
Mike shared with me that he quit for a month and he started getting all these emails about
I get them
Instagram and the
friend suggestions.
Come check this out. Your friend said this about you, or there's a comment on your thing that you haven't seen in a few days. Like the automated drug dealer. That's the automated drug dealer.
And then when you get back on, it's hilarious. Anything that you really did care about, that you didn't. Whatever it was that you were looking at ahead of time. So I would check in on Goose's situation quite a bit, obviously, right? But you don't, like, when you're active, you're not getting like all of their feeds. Like they'll literally post something and it doesn't show up in your timeline, right? Like that happens all the time for us. Like things that we're interested in, we don't always get the posts. It's like however the algorithm works. When you go away for a while and you come back, it's like all of the posts in a row from the thing that was like the most interesting to you. It's
really?
It's so silly. Like literally like 10 posts in a row where Goose just, look at, are you interested in this? Oh my God, come back. This is cool, right? This is what you liked. It's like, we have you for 2 seconds. All right, check this out. Let's get you back in. It made me laugh out loud by myself. It was like, okay, this is really, I'm still not ready. I'm going to stay away for a little longer. This is still too gross.
Yeah. Well, I'm inspired.
I'm serious. Both of you try to do 3 days even.
That's not
just try 3 days. Yeah.
It's really not. I'm
and you don't go for the app. You've done it before and don't like find yourself reaching in your pocket subconsciously and you know
all my
trying to open it.
Listen, I've done the deletions before, and when I first did them, they were hard. And now, just to kind of reiterate what I was saying, like I very much am finding little niche pockets of utility of how to use the app, and I only need maybe 3 minutes at a time to do that. So if I'm opening Instagram 3 times, you know, I have my restrictions in place 3 times in the day for 3 minutes. That's 9 minutes of my day to add a little bit of utility. I don't mind that. It's like,
I don't either. Again, I don't either.
So what I'm saying is, I don't think a full deletion would be as difficult for me because of that. Every single app on my phone that I have caught myself in compulsively reaching for.
Yeah.
So Mail, Instagram, Binance, what else? Doesn't matter. I know I am very aware of what grabs me, and I have harsh restrictions on all of them using my apps. Mm-hmm. So that's cool. In that sense, I feel like I'm in control. It's a balance for me where I can check in and do and limit my exposure and make sure that my opens are for utility purposes without burning 2-3 hours of my day at a time, right? And still have time to do the things that I care about, having these podcasts with you. Everyone knows I love running. You know, all that stuff that's important to me. Oh, the Instagram stuff is so far down on the list, man. It's like I have this weird dichotomy because I want to care about it. I want to feel like I want to share my work, but the real reality when I have this conversation with myself is like I'm not willing to sacrifice the other things for that.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what we were talking about. Yeah, right. Willing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what? While you're speaking, I was thinking to myself, "Oh yeah, that's right. Like addiction hits people differently."
Yes.
Right? Like there are people that can drink and not have any problem. Like I don't have a problem with drinking. Like I don't take it too far. I just don't like the way I feel when I do it the next day. But like it's not like something that grips me. But maybe like for some reason, Instagram hit me a little harder than maybe it did you. And you know, maybe I had a harder time walking away for whatever reason. But I sure as hell didn't like it, and it kind of scared me.
Yeah, and maybe you're to use the drinking analogy, there's one sip turns into 13 beers, right? Like there's
yeah.
And maybe it's the education behind it. Like, okay, like I kind of have seen the ramifications of drinking too much, but there's again, none of that really with social media. It's a lot of new stuff and guessing. So if you came down from planet whatever as an alien and found alcohol and you had no information about it, you might be like, "Oh, this is so fun. Like I feel crappy the next day, but I felt great the night before. That's fun. I'm going to keep doing that. I'm going to do it more. I'm going to do it more and more." If you don't know,
or maybe it kills you.
Yeah, I think in a few years, many years, whatever it may be, there's going to. I mean, Australia is already starting like no kids under 16 with cell phones or social media. Like they just passed the law. I think it's starting to happen that they're realizing like, This isn't good. Like my district's backpedaling on their phone policy in school. That was like a huge freaking mistake to allow kids to have their cell phones. And yeah, I think we'll get more education and more information about it. But right now it's kind of a free for all where it's like a lot of people just don't know what this is doing to me.
Yeah. Right. So I think that one of the main messages of today is to be aware of what's happening to you. Find a way to build some tools that allows you to check in and notice things.
100%.
Because then you can have some agency over the substances or digital substances in your life that have power over you. And then you can make decisions from there of how much do I want to allow. At least you're not a slave at that point.
Yeah, and Mike said it. The easiest way is time. Time, and it's our most valuable commodity. We can't get any more of it. It's just what it is per day. That's our time. So the best way to, whether it's social media or hitting balls at the driving range, like whatever it may be, if you're saying, dude, I'm doing 8 hours of this thing a day, but it's starting to creep into my other life. My bills are a little bit late. I haven't cleaned the house in a while. My relationships are suffering. I haven't done that thing that I thought I loved in a week. I haven't, played keyboard in a week. Like, you can look at time, and there are tools. They're not hiding that, which I'm frankly surprised, to be honest, that they're not hiding that statistic. That's like, how much time are you spending on social media stuff? You can look at that and say, wow, 2 hours a day, where could I invest? I've been telling people I don't have enough time to work out, but I'm on Instagram for 2 hours. I'm going to trade that. I'm going to trade those two things. Like, you could.
I've been wanting to try this project. I've been wanting to write a book. I've been wanting to get out and try and get a fox. I've been wanting to, make a video. All these things that you could do. I want to go just have dinner with some friends. I don't have time to have dinner. I can't come out. I'm too busy. Like, I hear that shit all the time. I'm like, dude, how am I able to do it and you're not? Like, what is going on?
Yeah, it says I'm busier than you, which is like...
Yeah, I'm busier than you. And I don't like saying that, but I know you're not doing... Like, the people I'm talking to are like, you're not doing what I'm doing. Like, it's just no fucking way.
Yeah, I think of it that way when people say I don't have time. It's either one...
It sounds cocky, but it's just reality. Yeah.
I don't have time means one of two things. It means I don't manage my priorities well, or...
Exactly.
Or you're not a priority.
Sure. But usually it's not about coming to see me. It's like, oh, I wish I had time to do X, Y, Z. And it's like, you have time to do those things for sure.
I'm saying in that scenario as well.
Yeah. They're both the same kind of.
Or your priority management is bad. Or is it?
Yes.
And that's always work in progress for people, and there's different systems that people can put in place to understand what is a priority.
And it's not easy. Like, you don't really learn in school how to manage money. You don't learn in school how to manage time. Those things are very similar.
Thank God I know trigonometry, though.
There's a very similar bind to those two things, I think. Discipline. There's a discipline to both of those that I think is the common thread. And it's not taught. It's weird. It's like, it's something you have to learn.
I think, a curriculum that involved children seeing a project from semester start to semester end, like a long-term gratification, would go so far.
Yeah.
Your entire grade is on the process of this from start to finish. I don't know, like growing as an example, it's like growing a plant from seed to this, where it's going to take you 6 months.
Yeah.
That's why I always vouch for people on the show. I vouch, pick a project that takes a long time, man.
Yeah.
Not
a labor of love.
Yeah. Well, Goose has been a labor of love for you for it still is.
It is the majority of the time that I put in my life right now, by far. It's not, there's no close number two. It is far and away the most time that I put into anything that I do. and it's the most rewarding. I work for a corporation where if I put in a certain amount of time and I feel good about the work that I do, no one gives a fuck. Everyone is just as miserable about the job as I am, or as the next person is. So like, no one's patting anyone on the back and saying good job, and no one really, it doesn't actually, you don't see the fruits of your labor actually move the needle in any way, shape, or form. It's just too big of an animal, you know? Whereas with Goose, if you do something, you're directly supporting someone else who's like a brother, like someone in, you know, a family member that almost, that you feel like, oh, I helped him out, or I helped her out. And so you made that, you know, immediate connection and support. Or you did something like make a video and went out there and you know, people appreciated it. And you're telling a larger narrative that helps, you know, support the community, and that feels very rewarding.
Which I think
I want to do. I want to do good. I want to do good, healthy stuff. You know, I want to be healthy mentally, physically. I want to do good work that's creative, that helps support other people and make other people feel happy and healthy, and create positive stuff, as opposed to like, you know, supporting some other bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, the comparison between your corporate job and Goose is you're talking about the desire to see your contributions come to fruition and
sure,
be visualized, or be
and feel good about it. Feel like I'm actually doing something that's worth something to somebody. You know,
so
not just,
it's like a purpose in a sense.
A purpose. Having a purpose is really nice. And I definitely, you know, it'd be hilarious if like someone from corporate heard me speak like that. But that is a huge problem in that company, is feeling like the work I do really matters and moves the needle in some way, shape, or form.
So that's like a culture issue, whereas, you know, the people you're surrounding yourself
100%
in the photography community and the Goose community is the antithesis of that.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, you feel really good about the work that you do, and it makes you want to work harder. It makes you want to do more and do a better job and keep going and keep reinvesting yourself into the thing, and investing in equipment and investing in knowledge. And
which is easy if you have an emotionally compelling reason for doing it.
Exactly. Yeah.
And if you don't, you're not going to do that.
And then the dream is to get paid for doing that and be able to support yourself for doing that kind of work, right? And putting in that kind of effort and being rewarded for it is the ultimate goal for everyone. Forget about like working for X, Y, and Z. It's just like you want to do good work that is meaningful and makes you feel whole, right? Whatever that is. So go out and find that and then go do it, right? And then just don't stop. Just hit it as hard as you possibly can, and people will notice. You know,
and to me, that's the fourth pillar. So we had networking, we had develop your own skills, we had go out on your own and do stuff, and the fourth one to me is find something and keep going for years, like keep going and building on it. And you can only be beginner at a million different things and get nowhere. You, at some point you have to pick a lane and
stay with it
and stay with it and stay with it through the hard times. And it's not all just, you know, Cinderella stories and fairy tales. It takes some freaking fortitude to push through and stick with it. Do this podcast every single week, no matter what.
I'm offended. Where am I not free? Oh God.
No, you feel it too, man. I know you do.
Yeah, but there's an emotionally compelling reason to show up. Like Mike just said, to contribute to, you know, I'm getting to hang out with two friends right now. Like how great, of course, that, you know.
But you're doing it on repeat. You're not doing it for 5 months and then being like, it didn't take off. What's next? Right. You're trying to find the next thing. Like find something you love. That's what I'm saying. And do it all the time, even when it's like tough to. Keep going. And then that's when you see the build. That's when you invest like 10 years ago and you invest in a company $10 every day. And then you realize like, holy shit, I have $500,000 that I just been investing $10 a week. But you just keep going.
What's the saying? Do so many reps that success is inevitable.
Yeah.
I believe that. I do. Unless you suck.
You bring up a good point though. Like I think this can potentially be a fallacy. Like some people, every person in this conversation right now is not inclined to be able to do everything. There's just some things that you will not be good at. And I do think it is a tragedy when
you can't see it.
Oh God, I hope I don't get hate for this, but when it's just not your thing.
It's just not your thing. It's funny. I love to use the drummer as an analogy. Like if you don't have rhythm, it really can't be taught. You kind of have to have that innate sense of rhythm to be a good drummer. And if you can't do it, I'm sorry. I know you love the drums and it's like your identity and all that stuff. But maybe you need to try a different instrument. You know, it's like, I don't know.
Right. Yeah. Or maybe it's about getting as good as you can be, your full potential, and realizing that may not be the level of success that's required to achieve this fantasy outcome you've built in your head. Right.
Yeah. Right.
I think it is tragic, the odd time where there's no inherent skill or there's a lack of ability to develop a skill just for whatever reason, but the passion is at level 100.
Yeah. It is sad. I've seen it.
I'm not pitying. I'm just not sure like what you do in that scenario. Right.
I think pity is definitely a thing. I mean, you're going to feel it as someone seeing it from the outside. If you're, you know, fairly human, you're going to be like, oh, you know, like, that sucks. Like, I wish they could see it and like, or, you know, move the needle enough to like get there. But like, it just doesn't happen all the time. You know, that is definitely a thing.
Have you guys ever had a thing that you were just you really enjoyed and you were just terrible at, and you did notice that there was no way this would come to fruition? For me, it was guitar. For me, I can strum chords, but like I will never play guitar like you two. I just won't.
Yeah, and I'll never play guitar like a million other people. You know, like it's just it is what it is. Singing definitely for me. Like there's people with amazing vocal range or singing or like this intuition about their voice always blows me away. And it's just something that's, I don't know, it's just out of reach, and that's okay. I'm not trying to be a lead singer.
But do you think people just know this will never happen? You know, like
I don't know if that has to be the case though, because like, and I know I could probably catch a huge beating for this, but like just like a Bob Dylan versus like a Michael Bublé. Yeah. You know, like it's just they're apples and oranges, and there's a lane for both of those things, you know, like, and there's always like, there's shitty guitar players that have made it big. They're just strummers or whatever, you know, and it's just, it's based on the people that they surround themselves with, timing, and maybe the songs are, you know, bigger than the parts, you know, some of the parts are the whole's bigger, you know. It's just like there's so many factors that you don't always have to be at the top of your game to be successful. Definitely. It's right place, right time, you know, having a certain edge. Like sometimes you can be shitty at something and that grit is actually what's interesting and grabs people. I'm not saying give up on your dreams. I'm just saying sometimes there is an innate, like, you have to recognize at least that you have a uphill battle sometimes and like fight through that or accept it and lean into it. But it's good to know that you have what your blind spot is, then either choose to exploit it or try your damnedest to like bring it up higher, you know?
Right. Yeah, I agree with that. I think a lot of drive and passion and work can bring you very far, very far.
Or intentionally lean into the bad parts because it's something unique about it, you know?
Yeah, or at least know, right? So they're not blind spots. At least know.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
We went long.
2-parter.
Yeah. Thanks.
I think it's the sunglasses.
What's a 1-parter?
No, I don't want to do a 1-parter or 2-parter. Let's do a long. People are always screaming for long.
What is a 1-parter though?
Makes more work for us.
Usually we talk for like an hour.
Oh, okay.
But we went long, which was good.
I feel like all of mine have gone long.
I think it was the glasses.
It was the glasses. I'm holding aces.
We could look at the screen longer.
Yeah, exactly. Definitely look at the screen longer.
I think that's what it is. I think my LED light has not seared my retinas, and I've been able to hang in here.
I have the happy lenses on. Everything is beautiful.
Yeah.
But Mike, always a pleasure. I mean, good conversation. We could have you on once a month, I think. Just talk about shit.
I'm here for it. I like talking.
Friend of a show.
Oh, you've gotten the accolade. We have 2 friends of the show, Mike and Ian. So
Yeah.
Nice.
we'll send you a YouTube style plaque since you love social so much.
Yeah. It's like joining the hosts of Saturday Night Live that have, they've always made a joke like, oh, I've hosted like 6 times, or I'm in the 7-time repeat. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah,
I'm on the photographer mindset. Let's fucking go.
Yeah, big deal. I think you need to hit 4 times on the show to be certified friend of the show.
Sick.
So
I'm in.
It's like you're like double platinum essentially. So when Goose goes double platinum, if they haven't already or whatever.
Next time I'm on, I better have a little something here that signifies that I'm like double platinum now.
We'll get like a crest or something.
Yeah, give me a little badge or something that I can wear, signifying that I'm in the club.
Incredible. All right. Till next time.
Yeah, sounds good, boys.